Good morning. How is everyone? Are we good? I hope so. All right, so today we're going to do kind of the same thing that we did the previous 2 days for the next 2 days. So we're going to do the stems tomorrow, the petals, and then Saturday, more stems, and then Monday and Tuesday, stems and petals, and then details, and then we're going to close it up. So we're almost to the end, guys. This is so exciting. So I've taken Star 262. It's like a yellowy kind of green. Like if I show you it next to this one, it's like got a bit more yellow in it. And we're going to do the whipped backstitch for some little stems that are coming out of here. And these are going to have petals on the top. So they can be like kind of floppy little things that like flop out here and there, you know? And then if you would like to add some leaves on here, you can add leaves if you want. We just haven't really done the whipped backstitch yet. And I really do like it. It's very similar to the stem stitch. You have a really nice, like, solid coil, like twisty kind of line. Okay, so let's draw them on first, and then we'll get into how many strands, etc., etc. So I'm just gonna do, because we have 2 more flowers that are like this, you know, where we do the stem and then the petals, and then the other one is just some like fluffy fronds. So I think I'm going to do like 3. So let's do like 1 coming down here. And maybe 1 here. Let's do 1 on this side. I actually think I'm going to not do this leaf. And just draw over it. Okay, now if you wanted to do leaves, you could do some lazy daisy leaves like we did over here. You could do just regular like straight stitch leaves. It doesn't really matter. So we'll do this part first, and then we'll go back and add some little, I'll show you a couple different ways we can add leaves. Okay, so like I said, I've got the Star 262, and I've got 3 strands. I don't want to make this too thick, but I also don't want to make it really teeny tiny either. So let's zoom in. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Yesterday, I cleaned everything, and I feel so good today. Like, so good. Everything is organized. I took everything out of its home, put it all back. But everything, I mean like just the stuff I use for like business stuff and craft stuff. Okay, so with the whipped backstitch, we're going to do just a regular backstitch. So the smaller you make your stitches, the more whipped it's going to look. The bigger you make your stitches, the less twisty and whipped it's going to look. So let's just do a medium one here. Then I'll do a really small one, and then like a bigger one. And then you can see how the different size strands will make it look a little bit different. So we're just doing a regular backstitch. Try to make all of your stitches about the same length. Hi, George. David's gone into school today because the mouse pad, the trackpad on his computer doesn't work anymore. And it's like a touchscreen computer, but he needs it to work. Okay, so we've done our back stitch. I've done a little stitch at the very end because I needed it to finish up the line, you know? So I've ended right here. We're gonna come back up again at the very end. It can be through the same hole or just like right after. And you're gonna slide your needle underneath each of these stitches. So you're not going through the thread or you're not going through the fabric, you're just sliding it underneath each one. And you can go from left to right or right to left, but whichever way you choose, you have to do it the same way each time. So I'm gonna choose right to left. So again, sliding it under each time. Hi, Jessie. It's gonna look a little bit like ratty like that, like kind of twisted and like not really falling into place, but that's okay. We're gonna give it a little tug and it'll be fine. So we have like this. Okay. Someone keeps putting like litter and crap like outside in the circle. Because like our road is like this. You go up the driveway, up the road, and you go around the circle. And like our house is like over here. So there's like a circle of land. Thanks, Jessie. In the middle. And people keep dumping crap there. And so now they've had to send someone to come and collect all the crap. Really, girlfriend? So all you're going to do is give this a little tug like you just saw me doing. And then I like to kind of push it against the curve. So it's curved a little bit like that. Yeah. And then you're going to put your needle down right where you started. Try not to go through the knot. So there's one whipped back stitch. Now for this one, let's do some lazy daisy leaves. And because we have just 3 strands, they're going to look really delicate. You can do just maybe like one on each side, or you can do a couple little ones like this one. Are they like demoing something? Like, now we've learned a lot of different stitches so far, so you can do some straight stitch leaves, and I'll show you some of those later on the next little guy that we do. Or you can keep to these. You can make little satin stitch leaves. What are you doing? Oh my goodness, she is like a little terror this morning. I'm not kidding. I think she slept in and then she's like, yep, I'm ready to go now. I'm ready to just get into it. Get into all the trouble. Cracks me up. Okay, so I've got my 3 little leaves here. I'm going to stop that there. And then I'll go show you a really small whipped back stitch, and then maybe you can see the difference. Oh, now she's gone to bed. Sorry, I missed what you said was going on the end of the stems. Just small little flowers. They're going to be as small or big as you want them. So I haven't showed you or told you yet or anything like that. But they're going to be like small flowers. All right, let's do this one because it's quite straight and I can show you like 3 big stitches and you can see how it looks. So let's start down here. Okay, and then we'll go back up here to the top, and then pull it down a little bit. And back down. Okay, so for this one, let's do some tiny little straight stitches for the leaves. And again, you can do as many or as little leaves as you want to. You don't even have to put leaves if you're like, don't feel like it. That's totally fine too. Do some little guys like that. Ooh. Okay, that's quite cute. Okay, so let's do the other one, the very last one. And the last one, I'm going to do them really small. My stitches really small. And when I do them really small, you're going to see how twisted it looks. It literally looks like a piece of rope when it's really, really small. Okay, let's get going. Now I'm not going to do this leaf anymore. I've nixed that, but I might add it down later. Okay. I made a T and I left it over there again. Oh. So these are really tiny. Now the reason I like to use less threads with less strands of thread with the whipped backstitch is because when you whip it, you're like doubling the thread because you're stitching it and then you have to stitch it twice because you're whipping it. So sometimes when you use 6 strands and then you go and whip it, it gets a really thick line. So it just depends on what kind of look you're going for. Are you doing like a delicate looking bouquet of flowers, or do you want like a nice chunky, like texture rich thing? Like what are you going for? The small stitches were so small. Like, gonna be here all day. They're so tiny. Look at them. I'll have to get the black paint thing out, so maybe it will brighten it up a little bit. Or my iPad's there. Oh, I made it. I need to wrap that. Okay, so let's go and whip each one. Everyone's so quiet today. Now this is really great for any kind of outlining. If you wanted to do like outline a flower or something, or if you wanted to go back and whip your teapot, you can do that. I mean, I would probably just leave it because we've already stitched over some of it, but it's not impossible. It really smooths out your lines as well. So like here you can see it's like boom, boom, boom. Whereas when you have a whipped back stitch, you can't see any of the individual stitches. So it's also great if you're doing lettering and you have a really light colored thread for your lettering, because with light color thread, you can see every single stitch. Where dark color, they kind of seem to blend together a little bit more. Okay, let's give it a slight tug. Oh my gosh, it's so tiny. Okay, so let's see here if we can get it to brighten up. Ew, gross. Okay, so do you see how twisted and small that one is? And then we have this one, like a medium twist. And then we have this one over here, which is like a really not so twisty twist. Can you see the difference? I'll zoom out and then you can see maybe. So you've got one there, and one there. Yeah? I don't know, I can see the difference, but it might be hard to see on camera. Okay, let's do some leaves for this one, because we can't have one with no leaves if all the other ones have leaves. Let's do 3 straight stitches, or maybe 4. And all the stitches are going to go through the same hole. So 1, 2, 3. Pain woke me up at 1, hoping I go back to sleep. Oh, I'm sorry. That's no good at all. I know, I'm getting really nervous about my thing next week, like really nervous. It's next Friday. 1 week from today. I'm just really dreading it. You can make these really big as well if you need to make them bigger, or if you want to make them bigger, like so that you can see them a little bit more. I have more stuff going in around these, like we have more things to add, so I don't want to make the elements too big. No, don't stress. Like, I'm sure it's going to be fine. It's just like, it's not, I'm just really worried about it. But like, because it's a week away now, I feel like it's becoming closer and like becoming more real. What is the stitch on the next sleeve over? This one is the brick stitch, and you can watch the video on that on IGTV or YouTube. Like, it's becoming more, like, I'm not going to get put to sleep for it. If I was getting put to sleep for it, I wouldn't even care. Do you know what I mean? But because have to be awake, maybe I'll ask, like, can you just knock me out a little bit more? It's like my number one fear. But it's less than an hour, so that'll be good. Okay, so there we go. I'll erase this part, this leaf, with the hairdryer. And then I'll be good to go. You know? I'll be ready. Ready for my petals tomorrow. I'm so excited. Like, this stitch-along is coming together so well. I'm so proud of everyone. You have no idea. I'm so jazzed up. Okay, so we've added 1, 2, 3, and I've shown you 3 different ways to make super easy peasy tiny little leaves if you want to just add a little bit of oomph, you know, on there. So enjoy, and I'll see you in just a minute for the coffee pot, the mocha pot stitch along. So be sure to use the hashtag and tag me at the Barmy Fox, and I'll see you in a little bit. Bye.